organised crime in this country because they would be beyond the reach of the European arrest warrant, protection for workers like right to paid holidays, paternity leave, maternity leave, removed. Britain humiliatingly weak at the negotiating table with other world powers. Leaving the EU would be a catastrophe. That's why this is the most crucial political decision of my lifetime. I'm Alan Johnson, Labour Member of Parliament for Hull West and Hessel. I'm leading Labour in for Britain, which is the Labour Party campaign for Britain to remain in the European Union. I've been fortunate enough to be Minister in charge of a lot of different government departments while I've worked here in Westminster. From welfare to education, from jobs to health, from immigration to the security of our country. I've dealt with a huge variety of issues in my time as a minister, and this will be the battleground for the debate over whether Britain should be in or out of the European Union. I'm making this film to tell you why I think Britain should remain in the European Union. And to do that, we're going up to Hull. Firstly, because it's my constituency, but perhaps more importantly, it's Britain's gateway to Europe. Britain's windy coastlines mean that the UK market is the biggest in the world for offshore wind, and the German company Siemens, they looked at 104 different locations in Northern Europe and decided to locate the final assembly of these huge turbines going out into these 3 big offshore wind farms in the North Sea right here in Hull. By September of next year, this will be a huge manufacturing site, 1,000 jobs, putting Britain and Hull at the heart of the renewable energy revolution. I'm here to talk to Finbar Dowling, who's the project director for Siemens for this huge investment. What effect does Europe have on your plans here?
I guess we can't absolutely say it because nobody knows what post-Europe looks like. What we do know is we know what Europe looks like now. Could it be some reforms? Of course there could be some reforms, but you know, we know where we stand today.
That uncertainty must be a worry.
You're absolutely right, Alan. This is the single biggest investment Siemens is making globally right now. And what you want is, when you're making an investment that large, you know, £310 million going in here, you want to be able to know and understand what's going to happen down the line, because this isn't something you rock up and do for 3 or 4 years and then leave town. It's a huge investment. So uncertainty is never good. Certainty is what we want.
I've come here to the Inspired Cafe in Hull to meet Joanna, who's come to this country from Poland and who's got a job here. See you later. How are you?
Fine, thank you. Lovely to meet you.
You've come to work in Britain from Poland because Britain is in the European Union.
It is, yes. Actually, I follow my husband. He was first here. He got a good job.
So you settle now for good in
Yes, I think
Britain?
so, yes.
In Hull?
Yeah, I can say yes. Hull is my home now.
You know, some of the debate about the European Union is about free movement and about people coming here from other countries.
Yes.
And a concern that they're taking jobs that local people could have. Do you ever come across that argument?
I don't think so. I think if people really want to find a job, they will find. It's not true that immigrants take a job.
Oh, we don't want to lose you from Hull, particularly with those sausages.
Yes, especially
yeah,
the
make
English
sure
breakfast.
Our cash might not be affected by Europe, but many things are. European Union is a market, a huge market, but it's a market with rules. Rules to govern, for instance, how the pigs that have made these sausages are reared. How much meat is actually in these sausages. The seeds, the pesticides used to grow these vegetables, there's standards that every European Union country must meet.
I've got 2 copies, are they both white?
Are they for us? Because when they think it should be in or out.
So the Inspired Cafe also has a job club, and I'm here with Denise and Lee and Richard. We're debating about the European Union. What about people coming over here from Eastern Europe? Do you find that as a barrier to?
Well, I don't know. I think at the end of the day, I think we're just reading too much into the immigrants what are coming over, because immigrants have been coming into this country since the year dot.
I'm not, because there's a big thing with maybe racism. I don't have that. I believe that, you know, it's nice if they will learn a little here, please, thank yous. I'll just integrate, really.
But it's 2 million Brits living and working in the European Union. You were one of them, so it works both ways, sort of thing. Yeah. But what about you, Lee? Is that an issue for you?
If people want to come here and work, they can come here and work. But I think Britain or the UK as a whole are a bit too soft, and people come here because it's too easy, and they come here for one reason only, and it's normally for benefits and housing.
Yeah, they shouldn't be coming here just for benefits.
That's it.
Not a lot of evidence that many of them are, but
No,
you're right, they shouldn't.
no.
But these are all the arguments you're gonna have to dwell on, because it's going to be your decision, and it's one person, one vote. This summer, British police officers were sent to Calais, the most vulnerable entry port to Britain, to help deal with the refugee and migrant crisis by working in a joint command centre with French forces. It's not just the migrant crisis that the police in Europe work closely together on. I think Britain is safer in Europe because it helps our police forces to work together, sharing information on joint operations. I'm here to meet a police officer in Birmingham who's doing exactly that. Paul, here we are at the heart of Trivium. Just explain what's going on here.
Alan, what we've got here is the operations centre for the whole of the UK. Actually, for the first time, Trivium 5 is a pan-European operation. We're working with colleagues from 8 different countries, and in addition to this setup, we've got one with our colleagues from Europol in The Hague. So already, within the first 48 hours of this operation, we've executed 25 European arrest warrants. A European arrest warrant is issued only for serious crimes. So if they're wanted for a serious offence over there, they can issue a warrant and we can arrest them in the UK if we find them in our country.
Right. If we were outside of Europe, it's very doubtful whether that cooperation would exist.
Yeah, it's much more difficult. Yeah. You have to go through extradition. That takes a lot of time. The whole idea is to speed up the process. Borders are no barriers to justice.
Britain in the European Union is a stronger Britain, a safer Britain, a more prosperous Britain. We are an influential nation. If we rip ourselves away from the European Union, we'll be isolated on our continent and in the world.